You sit in the chair, the machine swings in front of your eyes, and the optometrist says, better with one, or better with two. But what if that question was being asked by an AI? Not a person in a white coat, an algorithm. Inside 5 years, the entire optometry examination could be automated. And most optometrists don't see it coming. Optometrists are the frontline guardians of human vision, trained to examine eyes, diagnose refractive errors, detect early signs of serious disease, and prescribe corrective lenses or refer patients to ophthalmologists when needed. It is a profession that has remained largely unchanged for decades: a clinical examination, a set of lenses, a trained pair of eyes, and a conversation. But that model is under direct and sustained attack from artificial intelligence. AI-powered diagnostic tools can now analyze retinal images, detect diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, macular degeneration, and even cardiovascular risk markers from a single photograph with accuracy that matches or exceeds trained specialists. Automated refraction systems can measure a patient's exact prescription in seconds, without a human operating the equipment or interpreting the results. Teleoptometry platforms are already delivering remote eye exams to patients in rural and underserved areas, with AI handling the diagnostic workload and a remote optometrist simply reviewing the flagged outputs. The economics are compelling and the technology is maturing rapidly. In a profession where a large proportion of consultations follow a highly repeatable clinical pathway, AI does not merely assist the optometrist, it is beginning to replicate the optometrist entirely. The disruption is not a distant threat. It is already deployed in clinics, pharmacies, and digital health platforms around the world. Let us be precise about which tasks AI is already performing or will perform in optometry. Retinal image analysis is the clearest example of AI displacement. Systems like Google's DeepMind, Optos, and IDXDR have received regulatory approval to autonomously screen for diabetic retinopathy and refer patients without a clinician reviewing the image first. This is not assistance. This is replacement of a core diagnostic task. Automated refraction, measuring the refractive error of the eye, is now performed by wavefront aberrometry and digital phoropter systems that generate a precise prescription without the traditional subjective lens comparison. The 1 or 2 question is already being answered by machines. Visual field testing, used to detect glaucoma and neurological conditions, is fully automated and AI interpreted, flagging anomalies and generating reports that previously required clinical review. Patient triage and appointment screening can now be handled by AI chatbots that assess symptoms, urgency, and referral needs before the patient ever sees a human. Spectacle and contact lens prescription matching, the retail and product recommendation side of optometry, is increasingly driven by AI systems in online platforms like Warby Parker and Zenni, which guide customers to correct prescriptions without a face-to-face consultation. And electronic health record documentation, writing up consultation notes and referral letters, is being automated by AI transcription tools that eliminate one of the most time-consuming parts of the role. The pattern is unmistakable: the technical, diagnostic, and administrative core of optometry is being steadily consumed by machines. So how do optometrists stay ahead, and what must some come to accept about their fate? Strategy 1: become a medical eye disease specialist, not a prescription writer. The optometrists most threatened by AI are those whose practice revolves around routine refractions and spectacle prescriptions. The optometrists most protected are those who focus on the clinical management of eye disease, glaucoma monitoring, dry eye management, diabetic eye screening interpretation, low vision rehabilitation, and complex contact lens fitting for irregular corneas. These require clinical judgment, patient relationship management, and the ability to navigate ambiguity, all areas where AI remains an assistant rather than a replacement. Strategy 2: master the AI tools and become the expert who oversees them. AI diagnostic systems still require trained clinicians to interpret edge cases, communicate findings to patients, manage false positives, and take clinical responsibility. Optometrists who are fluent in AI-assisted diagnostics will be far more valuable than those who resist the technology or remain ignorant of it. Strategy 3: develop prescribing and therapeutics qualifications. In many countries, optometrists can now qualify as independent prescribers, allowing them to manage and treat eye conditions with medications, a scope of practice that AI cannot replicate and that significantly increases clinical value. Strategy 4: Move into academia, clinical research, or healthcare technology development. The people who understand clinical optometry are precisely the people needed to train, validate, and improve AI diagnostic systems. And Strategy 5: Prioritize patient communication, shared decision-making, and holistic care. When a patient receives a frightening diagnosis, potential vision loss, early glaucoma, retinal disease, they need a human being to explain it, support them, and guide them forward. AI cannot hold that conversation with the empathy and authority it requires. And finally, will optometry be obsolete by 2030? Here is the honest assessment. High street routine optometry, the annual eye test, the spectacle prescription, the contact lens fitting, is the segment of the profession most immediately threatened. As automated refraction becomes more accurate and widely available, and as online platforms allow consumers to update prescriptions digitally, the demand for in-person routine appointments will decline. Retail optical chains will increasingly rely on automated kiosks and AI diagnostics staffed by fewer, lower-cost vision technicians rather than fully qualified optometrists. This is not speculation. It is already the business model of several major optical retailers in the United States. Community and primary care optometry will follow a similar trajectory: higher throughput, more automation, fewer clinicians per patient volume. However, hospital and specialist optometry, managing complex disease, supporting surgical planning, and providing rehabilitative care, faces a different outlook entirely. These roles require clinical complexity, therapeutic knowledge, and patient-centered communication that AI cannot yet replicate reliably or safely. The legal liability of clinical decision-making also means a human must remain accountable, regardless of how capable the AI becomes. Optometry will not disappear by 2030. But a significant portion of routine, entry-level optometry work will be automated away. The profession will stratify sharply: a shrinking base of routine prescribing roles, increasingly commoditized and automated, and a growing demand for optometrists who have evolved into genuine medical eye specialists. The choice is stark, and it must be made now. Because the machines are already in the consulting room. They just haven't taken the chair yet.